Welcome to Creative Menu Planning and Service in Uncertain Times. Hannah and I are excited to have a chance to share our presentation with you. One thing we know for certain, writing menus and serving meals using curbside delivery during a COVID-19 pandemic was not on anyone's radar until a few months ago. My experience as a past food service director is like most of yours. Go ahead and throw curveballs to us. We'll duck, twist, flip, and then recenter and move forward. My challenge for you today is, what one idea can you take away from today's presentation that might help you or your staff as we navigate through our new norm? Hi, my name is Janelle Peterson, and I'm one of the co-presenters on this session for you today. I've been with Pro Team Food Service Advisors for about 3 or 4 months now. And while I'm a newbie to the company, I'm certainly not a newbie when it comes to child nutrition. I was the food service director at Rapid City area schools for 9 years. And previous to that, I was a program specialist with the state agency in South Dakota. So I have a true passion for child nutrition and supporting others like yourselves along the way. So I'm going to turn it over to Hannah and let her do a little introduction as well. Hannah.
Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah Gelhar. I'm a registered and licensed dietitian. I am also a former school nutrition director in the state of Minnesota. I have worked for Pro Team Food Service Advisors for the last 2 years as a menu and social media consultant. I truly enjoy working with districts to create creative and innovative menus that are compliant with USDA standards. Back to you, Janelle.
Our session will provide an all-inclusive look at assessing your cycle menus during a pandemic. One thing I want you to consider. Remember that challenge I gave you a few minutes ago about taking one idea away from this presentation? Well, here's an idea. Go back to basics. How long is your cycle menu? I would tell you that it is okay and very acceptable right now for you to be running no more than a 2-week cycle menu given the challenges of on-site, hybrid, and remote learning. That's not doing a disservice to your students. On the contrary, the tips and tricks Hannah and I are going to show you will allow you to provide maximum flexibility with food items, especially your USDA donated food items. The objectives for today's session are: assess new obstacles amid pandemic, determine opportunities for creativity in menu planning and meal service, understand creativity in the lens of cost containment, and implement new strategies to maintain participation and control costs. We know we have some obstacles related to the pandemic. Let's review a few of them. Salad bars and self-serve have been eliminated in many cases. Many schools are having to offer all menu components instead of letting students pick and choose the food items they want. We're transporting food across the school and in some cases across town. We've got some supply issues. We are unable to get some of the food and supplies we want in the time frame that we want them. And yes, increased costs is adding insult to injury in some cases as we see the cost of numerous items. But disposables especially are coming to us at an increased cost. As Robert Kiyosaki, a businessman and author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says, inside of every problem lies an opportunity. For example, even though we aren't able to offer fruit and veggie bars or self-serve, how about we investigate new grab-and-go options? If you're unable to do offer versus serve, come up with a way to survey items they do want to eat. Do you have a food truck that's been used less during this time? Take the opportunity to use it to deliver meals, or put magnetic signs on some of the school vans when you are using them to deliver food. Toot your own horn. We know there are and will continue to be supply chain issues. That's why I'm encouraging you to go back to basics. If you have less food items on your menus, the better opportunity you may receive them and not have to worry about substitutions. Leverage your USDA foods to their maximum. We have some great ideas to share about creative menuing with USDA foods later in this presentation. There is no way around it. Many of the items we are using in our programs cost us more right now. So watching every dollar to us is more important now than ever. As you step inside your freezer or storerooms, what do you have on hand? And how can you take those items and turn them into something that you may not have previously served to your students? It feels a little like that cooking show where the contestants receive a basket of food and they have to create an entree out of it. While I'm not able to see you on the screen, I know there are a lot of heads shaking right now in agreement, saying, "Hello, welcome to my world." So how are you repurposing some of those food items in your freezer or storeroom? In the example on the slide, this district took a cheese pizza and repurposed it as barbecue chicken ranch pizza. How? By taking 3 other ingredients already in their kitchen: diced chicken, barbecue sauce, and ranch seasoning, and voila, barbecue chicken ranch pizza. Take a look at your menus and see where you may have opportunities to create something new or different and have a little fun with it. Ask your staff to come up with some ideas. Make it a contest. Who can come up with a great recipe using only food that you already have on hand? Hey, extra points if it's a USDA donated food item. Some great resources to get your creative juices rolling include the database of recipes that is with the Institute of Child Nutrition. USDA recipes, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with that website, and the newest kid on the block, Healthy School Recipes. Links to these resources will be posted for you at the end of the presentation. Here's an example of recipes that you can find on the Institute of Child Nutrition's website. On their website, their recipe site is called Child Nutrition Recipe Box. You can see that up in the left-hand side of the screen, Child Nutrition Recipe Box. When you get to the site, you will find recipes categorized according to main dishes, vegetables, salads, soups, sandwiches, grain breads, and more. The slide above shows more recipes. So we're searching here, and then we're going to go to main dishes. And when you get to that part, you can see a long list. You can only see a few on your screen, but there is a long list of ideas under main dishes, things like your barbecue chicken, your bean burrito bowl, your bean tostada. In many cases, you're also able to search by food item. So diced chicken, for instance, something like that. One of the great things that I like most about this particular website is that, for instance, if you decided you wanted barbecue chicken, you go over to download, you click on that, and you'll find information about how the recipe contributes to the meal pattern. Also, the serving sizes are in 50 and 100 servings, so perfect for what we're doing in our school meals. Remember when I suggested that you turn what to do with food on hand into a contest for your staff? Here's a few ideas using your USDA diced chicken. There are 9 different ideas listed on this slide alone, and many of these ideas actually have recipes associated to them. Again, you don't have to do all the work. Have some fun with this and solve your issue of what to do with food you have on hand, and continue to utilize that USDA donated food. Here's a picture of a salad shaker that was suggested on the previous slide. The recipe on the screen shows the ingredients as cucumbers, carrots, onions, dried cranberries, eggs, apples, and romaine lettuce. You can customize the recipe to meet your needs. So it's a great way to use up those dried cranberries that were mentioned. But how about instead of eggs as the protein, we put diced chicken in and some shredded cheese? All commodity items, all helping to use up that inventory you may have on hand. Another example is applesauce. Applesauce is more than just a fruit serving. Maybe you don't want to buy those pre-made applesauce cups because you have so many cases of the 610 cans on hand. Cup your own applesauce or use applesauce in blenderless smoothies, cookies, bars, and similar recipes. Here's an example of a 5-day cycle menu. The items in green are USDA donated food items. If you're multitasking, come back to me because I want you to write this down. Your goal when menu writing is to include at least one USDA food item in each day's menu. When you accomplish that, then work towards including 2 to 3 USDA food items on each day's menu. I am certainly not going to say that this is a great menu and that you should all follow it. Instead, I want you to use it as an opportunity to say, how many ways can I take one USDA food item and turn it into 2 to 3 different entree items? Notice the 5 USDA food items listed in the meat alternate row. Go through, so then I've also got the grain row highlighted here. So let's look and see what we've done. We have taken those 5 items and turned them into 13 entree choices. Let's look at Monday. Cheeseburger. I understand there's not a lot you can do with the cheeseburger. We're probably just going to serve that on a hamburger bun. Tuesday, however, we have tangerine or teriyaki chicken. How about serving it with rice? Maybe consider putting some of that meat in a tortilla shell and using it as a wrap. Or how about some type of an Asian salad? Use that tangerine or teriyaki chicken as a protein for that salad. Wednesdays, we've got taco meat. Now you may have beef or chicken on hand, maybe even turkey. And you've also got shredded cheddar cheese. Again, all USDA donated food items. So let's think about walking taco. Let's think about super nachos. Let's think about a taco salad. And how about a taco burger? 2 of those 4 grains are also USDA donated food items. Moving to Thursday, we've got a chicken patty with shredded mozzarella cheese. Now we can serve that chicken patty on a hamburger bun. We can take the chicken patty with the shredded mozzarella cheese, throw a little of our marinara sauce in there, add some spaghetti noodles, and we've got chicken parmesan. Or how about taking that chicken patty, making it into strips and putting it into a tortilla shell and adding some greens and other vegetables to it and making a chicken wrap. Last, chicken strips. We all know kids love their chicken and fries and dinner roll basket. Let's serve that. Let's also think about using chicken strips as the protein component in a wrap. And you can also put chicken strips in a protein for a salad. You see that a lot. So again, 5 different meat alternates partnered with numerous grains, and we've moved this to 13 entree items utilizing only 5 of your USDA proteins, which helps you move those pounds that you so badly need to move. And really the variety comes in along with that, those grains. It also comes in with the fruits and veggies. Everything you'll notice in this 5 days is green, showing that they are available as a USDA donated food item. It might be through the DoD program, or it may be brown box. It may be direct diversion if it's potatoes and some of your fruits. But at any rate, all of this is USDA donated foods. So you've got options. And so I just really want you to go back, look at your menus, and see what you might be able to do with that food on hand. In addition to utilizing USDA foods, making your own individually wrapped items can save you money and help you use those commodity products. Consider surveying your students to find out what their favorite menu items are. I know many of you know that already, but have tastes changed? Are there some things that you're missing that you could be serving? Also, look what's popular in the food industry. We've got some of our trendier things, some of our ethnic meals, Greek chicken with pita and hummus, taco salads, those sorts of things. How about Lunchables? There is, you get your 4-compartment or your 3-compartment container. You add some meat, some cheese, a grain, fruits and vegetables, and you've got a great meal. And how about a build your own? That might include pizza, like the photo shows. You've got your pepperoni slices, you've got your mozzarella cheese, you've got some flatbread and some marinara sauce. Kids can put a pizza together. Also consider peanut butter and providing jelly and bread, and they can build themselves a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So there's lots of opportunities out there. Now I'm going to turn things over to Hannah. Hannah, take it away.
Obviously, packaging is a huge factor in making your own individually wrapped items. You always want to consider what service model you will be using before buying packaging. Certain products will work great for cold items, but not for hot. If serving multiple days, there are packaging products that have dividers in them, allowing you to put multiple days worth of fruit, for example, in one package. Something we've seen a lot of districts investing in is heat sealing machines. This is a less expensive option compared to purchasing already packaged items. It also allows for customizing to use some of those commodity products we were just talking about. Take a look at what manufacturers are in your area and the types of containers they offer. Make sure you can get different containers to fit what you are preparing. Another option for individually wrapping items is EconoPack, InnoSeal, or ServPack. These companies offer bags that are sealed with heavy-duty tape. The bags come in various sizes, and some can withstand warmer and oven temperatures. The bags come in sizes that you can use for anything from small half-cup portions of cut fruit and veggies, all the way up to an entire meal being packaged in one of their sealable bags. So lots to consider as you explore the individually wrapped packaging options. This is a video here of a team that is using a heat sealing machine. So they're preparing meals, putting them on the tray line. And as you can see, the gal on the other side of the machine, after they've been sealed, is cutting the meals apart and stacking them up for easy storage and delivery. So as they work through the different meals that they have, they can quickly prepare and seal at the same time and then get them out to their students. This team said that they were able to make 240 meals in about 45 minutes. So another way to add to your own individually wrapped items is through labeling. Label makers are an inexpensive, simple way to take the look of your product from boring to bright and marketable. Labels can be used to help organize boxes and bags sent out for bulk service, or to simply label sandwiches, salads, and other meal items. You can use your district's colors, mascot, anything that really represents your district to step up the look of your brand. This label maker from Visuals, as shown on the screen, is easy to use, and they have pricing available based on the quantity of labels you purchase. So we will also provide a link to the Visuals label maker on our resource page at the end of the presentation. Some of you may be bulk packaging or considering bulk packaging your food items. So I wanted to share this great resource Team Nutrition just came out with. It's called School Meals Programs, providing multiple meals at a time during the coronavirus pandemic. The resource provides consideration, tips, best practices, and sample menus for school meal programs and their operators who wish to distribute multiple meals at one time. If you're struggling to determine what to buy for bulk service, the resources include specific amounts of common food items needed based on the number of meal days you are packaging. The next slide here, for example, this section of the publication outlines the amount of milk you would need to send out based on common container sizes. So if you're serving a 2-day meal service, you would require 1 quart of milk, whereas a 4-day meal service would require a half gallon of milk. There are a number of other common food items outlined in the resource, along with food safety considerations and helpful tips. So I would recommend checking it out, and we will provide a link to this document on our resource page as well. COVID Meal Service provides districts the opportunity to explore online meal ordering. Since a lot of districts use Google Forms is a very popular way to have parents put in meal orders. It's important to provide a lot of detail so parents know where and when they will be picking up their meals, what they will be receiving, and any specific deadlines for order. The example shown includes that detail, which is also key for your food service department. Based on the results of your form, you can coordinate your food orders and food preparation to meet the demand. The nice thing about Google Forms is that the results are compiled in a Google Sheet for easy review when ordering and preparing food. Depending on the frequency of pickup in your district, bulk packaging may be an option, and we discussed that earlier. We have seen districts offering meal kits with food for an entire week to save on packaging and make handing out meals a little easier. As I mentioned on the previous slide, there are a number of details you'll want to include in your online order form. These details include time deadlines and information you need from parents and information they need from you. So information for parents and guardians include what these parents are getting for their students, outline what meal options are included in the packages that are made available for pickup. Then also include when the orders are accepted. So if you need orders in by Friday of the week before your order, make sure you indicate that you can submit your meal order from Monday through Friday so that you have enough time yourself and your staff to prepare meals. Then also indicate the pickup time. So if your pickup is on Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., include that in your form. There's also information you need from parents and guardians. So the form should include their email address so you can get in contact with them if there's any questions. The pickup location, so if a parent is picking up at the elementary school, they need to indicate that. And it also helps you in understanding how much food you'll need to order for a specific site. Include the student names for counting and claiming purposes, and any specific allergies they may have in case you need to accommodate or provide alternative meal items. The parent should also include the person who will be picking it up, so you have, again, some checks and balances for counting and claiming. And we'll also provide a link to the Google form on our resource page. When it comes to actually serving the meals, again, it's important to clearly communicate to parents and students how they will receive meals. District notification systems, the district website, and social media are great ways to reach your families. Food and staff safety is something we are always cognizant of, especially during this pandemic. Make sure you are prepared with coolers and boxes that your staff can lift after food is in them. Make sure you have carts for transporting large quantities of food, and you have enough PPE to support your team. We all know the weather will be getting colder if you're in some of these more Midwestern states or Eastern states. So it's also important to make sure you have safety measures in place for curbside and bus delivery models. Your district safety committee should have regional safety resources available. If you didn't provide such training at Back to School, consider incorporating it as training during a teacher in-service day. When sending out food with students and parents, it's important to keep food safety in mind. Make sure to provide participants with either a label on their food or a handout to instruct them how to store and prepare foods in a safe way. You can format the information onto an Avery label, for an example, as shown on the screen here, or even make the information available on your website for parents to access there. These PDFs, as I show on the next screen, and the labels will be available on our resource page as well. So, example of a food safety sheet handout you can provide to families highlights a number of things. So one thing it outlines is that fluid milk, string cheese, yogurt, and fruit juice require refrigeration and must be consumed by the best by date printed on the package. It also calls out that refrigerated foods must be kept at a temperature of 40 degrees or below. It provides detailed heating instructions for some of the frozen entrees you may be sending out for heating at home, and the minimum internal temperatures for food safety. To keep food at a safe temperature, one creative thing we have heard districts doing is using frozen milk and juice cups to keep their cold food cold. This may be something to consider if you are having trouble keeping your cold foods cold. Depending on your district's learning model, there are a number of different meal service models you may be using. Mainly, we are seeing bus delivery, curbside, and classroom or grab and go service. The frequency of delivery and pickup can vary, but we have seen daily, bi-weekly, and weekly options most often with the districts we work with. As we mentioned on the previous slide, with all these models, it's important to consider food and staff safety. How can you safely load the bus with food? If you can't maneuver through the front door, can you use the emergency door? In harsh weather, Do you have a tent available? If it's snowy or icy, do you have salt and ice bugs available for your staff? There is a lot to consider. To make weekly delivery or curbside simple, you may consider bulk service options, as we've talked about on previous slides. As an example, further example, we heard that a district bulk packaged cold, frozen, and dry foods and labeled them in bag 1, 2, and 3. Each family would receive one set of each of the bags for each student in their household. This really streamlines the process in either curbside or bus delivery. Let's be honest, your budget, menus, and most of your planning went out the window last spring. Focus on what you can do to cut costs. Donations are a popular thing in some districts. There are a lot of local businesses looking to help out their community. So we had a district tell us that their local Walmart donated coolers and insulated bags to their district. So consider what businesses in your community might be able to help out. Grants are another thing we see districts utilizing. We know grants can be tough to complete during a regular school year, but keep them in mind. USDA always offers grants. CSNA, your local state agency might have information to share on what's available in your local community, and other organizations like the Dairy Council and other groups active in school nutrition might be able to help. The CARES Act funding is also available for food service departments to use. Districts were given CARES Act money, and all you need to do is talk to your administration about the additional expenses you have in your department and how to code your expenses to use those funds. Further opportunities to reduce costs include utilizing your commodities, as we've talked about. Get creative with what you have on hand and really try and use those products every day in your menu. Additionally, make your own individually wrapped items, and that can help cut costs. You may consider investing in a heat sealer, as we talked about, or one of the other packaging systems like EconoPack we mentioned. Bulk packaging is another way to save on packaging and labor if you send out meals for multiple days worth of food. So as you implement the things that we have talked about, here are some summary items to consider. Keep track of your USDA foods that you have available. When you're running out of a certain product, be proactive and think of what products you can substitute. And then utilize the systems for direct diversion to keep track of what pounds you have available. And also keep track of the brown box items you've used and what you have left, as well as your DoD dollars. Just be very cognizant of where you're at so you know what your next steps are. Leverage social media to your benefit and technology. Take photos of the food that you're making for students, of all the activity you have in the community and feeding our community's children. Just really, as Janelle said, toot your own horn and show all the great things you're doing for your school district. Additionally, it's important to communicate with the community and administration in your building or in your district. So if you have the opportunity to speak at a board meeting, jump at the chance. Really, again, toot your own horn and show the things that you're doing in your district, or maybe even the struggles that you're having, so that your board and your administration is aware of all that you're doing. Then provide directions for food safety and preparation to your participants. So some of those resources we shared would be a great way to make sure your participants are storing and preparing the food that you send out in a safe way. Don't recreate the wheel. All of us food service people are really willing to help each other out. So reach out to one another, reach out to us. We're willing to help and want to help. Then finally, recognize your team's hard work. everyone's a little tired right now, and just giving people encouragement and telling them that they're doing a great job will go a long way. So keep that in mind as you continue through this difficult season. We want to thank you so much for joining us for our session on creative menu planning and service in uncertain times. We would love to connect with you outside of this session. Join us in our conference booth, visit our website listed on the screen. Again, the resource page we referenced throughout the presentation is listed on the screen as well. It's proteamadvisors.com/CSNA-resources. So check that out. We'll provide that in our session resources information, and follow us on social media at ProTeamAdvisors, shoot us an email, or give us a call. We will have the resources we referenced today available on our website, as I mentioned. We're here to help, and thank you for attending.